How's it going, YouTube? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron trilogy Deluxe Class Huffer. And this guy is a pretty good figure. Now, this guy is one of everybody's least favorite Autobots due to his whiny, complaining nature. But we have a really nice artwork on here where he's getting ready to be rough and tumble and pull his weight for the Autobot team. You have his nice little miniature mini truck here, as well as robot mode with his newly acquired weapons. His rifle that we will be talking more in depth with later, as well as this really cool riot shield that he scrounged up from somewhere. Coming around to the back, you can once again see his nice vehicle mode here, as well as his robot mode in these product shots. And on this side, once again, that lovely Kingdom artwork we've been seeing on all of the packages. So, we're going to go ahead and pull that out of the way and bring in Huffer. And here he is in his truck mode. And I'm actually going to drop the camera a little bit because he is a bit of a small guy, so we don't need all of that headroom. And so here is Huffer in his miniature, like little semi-truck mode, and he rolls fairly well. Really nice orange and gray and silver scheme here. Coming around to the back, you have these red painted headlights, the smokestacks, gas tank, all that is painted in silver. A nice silver on the bumper, as well as the grille, the headlights, the mirrors, and the are these like fog lights at the top? I'm not exactly sure. Black for the windshield wipers. And for the first time in this line, it seems like they're actually layering plastic instead of just painting over clear plastic, which in my opinion is a much better way of doing this kind of detail, where you need to have a clear plastic surrounded by a color for the windshields and the windows. It's much better to layer the clear plastic underneath this solid opaque plastic rather than to just paint the clear plastic over, especially when there's hinges involved. He's got silver painted on the hubcaps, which is really nice as well. Now, a feature of this vehicle mode is he can actually haul Optimus Prime's trailer, and you can see I have some 3D printed upgrade parts on here, but he can haul Optimus's trailer without a problem, and it looks really cool. Getting that out of the way, he comes with two accessories. He comes with this little riot shield, which looks really good and can actually attach to his vehicle mode. On the back, it's just silver, or just orange plastic, and then silver paint, gunmetal gray paint. And there's three posts here, and there's will align with these three holes here, here, and here. So that just plugs in like so, and it kind of gives him a flatbed rather than a fifth wheel. And his other accessory is this weapon, and Halo fans will definitely recognize this as a Spartan Laser, an iconic weapon from the Halo games, starting in Halo, I want to say Halo 3, Reach, and Halo 4 definitely. I think it also showed up in Halo 5 a couple times, but yes, definitely detailed to look like a Spartan Laser. It's pretty cool. Definitely a favorite weapon of mine, though it is a pain to really fire the weapon. The details and the design of the weapon itself look really cool. Now, I don't know if the design of this weapon was intentional to make it look like a Spartan Laser, but it definitely does look like one. It is compatible with the weapon effects parts. It does have a 3mm peg there. If I can stay focused. And it's completely colored in this gunmetal gray over the orange plastic. It does split down the middle and become two pieces, so you basically have this little cut out here at the bottom, and you just want to kind of get your fingernails in there and just split the whole weapon apart. And it's just really 3 small pegs that hold everything together. And you can see these nice line details here. The piece almost looks like it's 3D printed with the details that are on it. You can see it almost looks like a 3D printed piece, which is really weird. Anyway, this slot here then can tab onto this orange tab on either side. So one here and the other one here. And that kind of gives him a bit of a truck bed in the back, so he can haul different things. You can even fit a Micromaster on there if you wanted to. So that's pretty cool. Going on to his robot mode, because there's not a whole lot else to show with this mode. Go ahead and remove his accessories. I'm going to go ahead and put the gun together now. And we'll set that stuff off to the side. And we'll begin. So the first thing you want to do is come back here to the back and just push here to disengage his legs. They're tabbed. Here's the slot, there's the tab, and it just tabs together when it's flipped around. I'm sorry, I'm muddling through allergies, and it's really making it hard to breathe and talk at the same time. So anyway, you want to bring this panel off the back, off the front of the legs, and bring this, flip it around. I know a lot of people did complain about the fact that it looks like he has separate toes. I don't mind so much. It's mostly people who don't like the Bayverse Optimus Prime foot design, comparing it to that. So anyway, split his legs, and there's most of it done. Now just the upper body, and what you want to do here is you can pull his wrists out and kind of bring him down here. Bring this whole assembly up, and it's on a double hinge. And then you want to kind of untap these arms so you can bring the whole upper body forward. And this is a bit of a pain to do, but anyway, just bring this forward as best you can. And then you want to flip these wheels inward, like so. And there's part of the problem. These wheels are just clipped on, so they do pop off pretty easily. Fortunately, though, because of that, you can just snap them right back on, and it doesn't cause any issue. You want to bring them up at this hinge now, bring the arms up and clip them in to the shoulders. You can bring the arms back now, rotate, and then rotate his head. And then we can bring this whole assembly back up, and it will clip back into place. Now with the backpack, you can kind of arrange it however you want. You can have it up high, you can have it even higher, like so. Me personally, I like to just bring it down a little bit, like so. That way it's just kind of slightly above his head, like so. And there's Huffer in his robot mode, and he looks pretty good. He looks good. Definitely Huffer. Get a nice look at that head sculpt. Basically animation accurate to a fault, really. He's got blue painted eyes. I think it's painted. Yeah, it's painted in metallic blue, which is really nice. Silver paint for the face. The rest of it's this purpley blue colored plastic. which looks really good too. Silver on the arms, silver here in the midsection. You get this lighter periwinkle color for the chest, silver here on the crotch, and then no real paint on the legs, just orange. The back's fairly clean, just has this whole assembly here, which is animation accurate, which isn't bad at all. Articulation wise, this does move on the double hinge however you want it to. Like I said, mentioned earlier, it's a ball joint at the neck, but it really only gets the swivel and a little bit of downward and upward, no side to side. He has universal joints at the shoulder, so swivels around at the shoulder itself and then hinges out there, and then it kind of fills in right here so it doesn't break it up too badly. Swivel at the bicep, and I like how you don't really, due to the round nature of his whole arm, you don't break up the sculpt at all when you swivel. Elbow bend, it does break it up a little bit here, just due to the way it's molded, but it's not a big deal and you won't see it from the front. As for his wrists, they do move inward, but that's about it. I do wish they would have put some silver paint here, but I can see why they didn't. As this is, a $20 figure and it already has quite a bit of paint on it, as well as really good articulation. Speaking of articulation, we do get an ab crunch. This is something we don't really see, especially on figures this small, but you do get a bit of an ab crunch here. And then you can actually hide it by lifting this up and kind of covering over it however you want. That way it's not super words escape me. It's not super noticeable, basically, that he is using this ab crunch, which, I mean, it just reveals this whole panel, but it doesn't look too bad from, like, this angle here. From looking at it like that, it just looks like he's kind of bent over looking at somebody. So it's a very nice thing about this figure. And he has a waist swivel. It's a very tight joint here, too. Nice waist swivel. Goes all the way around. Universals at the hips. Can't really get the full split. That's about as far as you're going to get. Forward and back, though. All the way. Rotation at the thigh. And I can see a upgrade company making a filler for this in the near future. So that's a really nice, real nicely done at the thigh there. The knee is way down here, inside the shin. It doesn't look too bad, but it does seem a little bit lower than it should be. And then the ankles have a really nice deep rocker, and there's actually a little bit here, so you don't, when you have him like in a natural A stance, it's not breaking up the sculpt. So you can see it's not breaking up the sculpt for him to be in a natural A stance. As for his weapons, accessories, he can wield the shield on the side of his arm, and he can hold his weapon, though he holds it very loosely. It's very loose in his hand. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it definitely could have used to be a little bit of a tighter fit. For some size comparisons, here he is with Optimus Prime. Here he is with Jazz. Just for some mainline Autobot, some ARC crew members. So he's just slightly shorter than a basic, than your typical deluxe. And then bringing in some of his Minibot comrades. Here is Bumblebee. Here's Cliff Jumper. And here is Warpath. And Warpath is definitely the tallest of the four so far that we've gotten in this line. I do definitely wish to see some more of the mini bots, especially all of the season 1 and 2 mini bots made. That being said, some of them that we have in the legend scale are pretty good. They're not too much shorter than Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, but they still don't quite fit in with the same aesthetic. So this has been my review of Kingdom Huffer. He's a pretty good figure. He's definitely not a fan favorite character, but this figure is definitely worth picking up, especially if you want to complete your Arc crew in the Chug scale. And it's definitely a million times better than this figure was. So I definitely recommend picking him up. Really good figure. So this has been my review of the Transformers Kingdom Huffer. And until next time, till all are one.